Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the commodities update video. And today we will be looking at natural gas, traded with ticker UNG, oil, US dollar, gold, and silver. So we're looking at their techno analysis levels as well as support and resistance levels. And potentially we may get some plays going on, and we'll see where the price will be heading into later next week. And if you guys like these videos or learn anything, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And the Discord link is in the YouTube bio. It's all free. Feel free to come hang out and chat about stocks or just hang out. All right, let's get started. So, net gas here. Make sure to click adjusted so your chart will look the same as mine. Otherwise, you'll have gaps from the contracts. And currently, we're looking at a potential double bottom here. I was talking about this on Wednesday when we broke this support. We're very likely going to come down to here. And if we break this double bottom here, this blue line, we're going to come down to, this blue line is 1.56. We're going to come down to this black line, which is still quite a bit away. I'm hoping it comes to the black line so I can add for a bounce, but you don't always get what you get. Because this black line is pretty much this support, triple bottom, and another one here, 4, 5, and 6 bounce here. So if we do break this double bottom currently here, we're a pretty good chance that we're going to come down here to this area. So we'll see about that. And so let's take a look into can this double bottom bounce or not? All right, so we go to the hourly charts, and you guys know that I say that the bare minimum I want to see on the chart is an hourly trend change. So we actually got that. You can see on this entire way down, we never got a single hourly trend change. It's been an hourly downtrend. But over here, we got a very small hourly uptrend. So see this initial bounce? And here we set the pivot. So this pivot is higher than this pivot. So that's a higher low. And then we broke above the prior high. So that's an hourly uptrend. But we are not getting a lot of follow through. We're pretty much just chopping here and not doing much. That's not a very convincing bounce after a, how many percentage drops that? Early we dropped 25% into a double bottom support, and that's all the bounce we got, like a 3% bounce. So far, bulls are still weak. That's not on a lot of bounce. And the thing is that we're still under the 4-hour EME 12. So we go to the 4-hour time frame here, right? And then we look at this teal looking line. That's the EMA 12, exponential moving average 12. You can see we have rejected here once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and we're just rejecting there again 6 times. So even though we got that hourly uptrend, that's the bare minimum I want to see from the bounce, we're still under the 12 EMA 12 and rejecting it again from the 4-hour EMA 12. So not much going on here. If we open and break above the EMA 12, then I would be like, okay, we may get a little bit more bounce here than this little 3% bounce. And we will also confirm a clear 4-hour uptrend. So yeah, so we'll see if we get that break above EMA 12 on the 4-hour. It doesn't mean that we just go above it and that counts as a break. I want to see us close above it, because you can see all these wicks. It means that we were once actually above that price, but then we closed under here and rejected it. Same thing these 3 4-hour candles here. We were once above here, above here, above here, but we all 3 times we ended up closing below it. So or probably more clear, but let's see. 4-hour is a little bit more clear, but 6-hour you can see we just touched it. But then up here is a little bit. But yeah, 4-hour, 6-hour. We get a clear break, you'll know when this volume comes in and we get a clear break above it. We'll see if that happens. If not, let's say we just get chop around, let's say we break above and chop around here and just kind of go sideways in this zone. And then we may potentially get another a daily bear flag. So the daily chart, right? Weird drop, like, let's see. Yeah, so even if we bounce all the way up to closer to this 0.382 line, so which means it's a 38.2% retracement of this initial drop. So there's 100%, right? This is a drop is 100%, and then if we retrace 38.2% of that, it's still a daily bear flag. We'll see, but we can bounce to the bear flag, right? That would be like a 11% bounce, which is quite a bit. So we'll see if it ends up playing out as a double bottom here, and we potentially play for a short bounce and go from there. Otherwise, if it just gets a shallow bounce, goes sideways in this bottom range, then that's a red flag, because last thing you want to see is we drop 25% and we can't barely bounce and it just goes sideways, and the next thing you know, we drop again. So see about that. All right, let's take a look at UNG. So UNG is trader particular for net gas. I don't know why all my lines are down here, because sometimes the trading view is a bit weird. So I guess we'll just look at the chart as is without the lines. And it's going to be very similar to natural gas. So let's see if we can even got an hourly uptrend here for UNG. Nope. This is double bottom. Let's just go to the 4 hours more clear. Yeah, no clear hourly trend for me on UNG. So super unclear there. And still under the 8 hour 12. So UNG for me is the 8 hour is the key. So as long as UNG on the 8 hour, we're still rejecting from that. Rejection, rejection, rejection. Waterfall, and we're getting close. So if we come up another, let's see, it'll catch up a little bit. So if we bounce about 3% here, we're going to touch the 8 hour EMA 12 again. So we get another rejection. We bounce here and then hits that thing and it just rolls over again. It's just going to continue. We'll keep that as our absolute resistant guide. So yeah, so we get a shallow bounce on natural gas. For example, if natural gas on the 4 hour comes back up again, hits that 4 hour EMA 12, rolls over, and UNG is likely going to just roll over as well. No signs of bulls yet at all. Getting a little bit of, no. This could just be, if this goes sideways like this, it could just be like this. But there is a potential for that double bottom bounce. But we want to see it break above the 4 hour EMA 12 first. Give us a 4 hour uptrend before anything. Otherwise, we're kind of just guessing here. But yeah, it does look better than here. You can see when we're over here, there's no momentum. Kind of just chop sideways here on the hour side as well. But here we're getting a little bit of momentum. But it's just a slight initial sign so far. That's a little bit better. I mean, if you want to get in, try that double bottom, right? You just get in and make sure you set your stop loss. You're not risking that much. You get in, you're risking about 2%. Still a decent amount, but just size properly. And then if you end up losing 2% that you're going to be okay with, then you may potentially get a bigger bounce. You may get like a 5-10% bounce. Right, so play that double bottom here. Get in, and if you're wrong, then wait for the next trade. Just set your risk properly. You'll be good. Let's see here. Oil. Okay, we actually retested that top again. So we're back here again. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Rejected, came all the way back. Reject, testing again. It looks like this time it wants to go above higher, but we're still not really there yet. If we get a green candle like this and then closes it here or anywhere above here, then I would say it's a above, but at the moment, not yet. We are looking pretty good here. Resistance. We never really close above here. Same thing, we don't cross above, but this would be the highest close out of all this 4 rejections. So we may get one more, and then we'll probably break above that. Is that we did break above it slightly higher than Wednesday's high, but we didn't get much follow through. You see, we kind of just peaked above and came back. But when we came back, it didn't came back much. So that means you can very easily just go back up again. Now, if we close back down here, then I would say that's another rejection. But we actually closed near the high of the day. So that's still a good sign for the bulls. We may just, see no red flags here on the 5-minute chart. we're just making a good trend. We're taking a break here, had it a little bit higher. That's barely even a pullback. So just kind of taking a break. So we can easily just go higher. Our flags at the moment. If we start rolling over, breaking all these pivots, right? And that is another rejection. So Monday is actually very key for oil. All right, the US dollar here. So I talked about where this is going to be the resistance on Wednesday. We're at this level here. Resistance. You can see prior resistance acting as support, now acting as resistance, support acting as resistance now. And yeah, we came down from it. This might actually form a head and shoulders. So this is the left shoulder. This is the head. We just formed the head. And if we do bounce a little bit slightly, and then reject from there, break the neckline, that's a confirmed head and shoulders pattern, which is a bearish pattern. If that happens, we're probably coming down to this 103.56 level for a bounce. You can see all this resistance here. It's going to act as support when we come down to it. And yeah, but we still got to form that right eye first for anything. So we'll see. Although still no huge red flags yet, but it did engulf this entire green bar. So that's a slight red flag for me already. But we haven't broken below this prior pivot yet. So if we do break that pivot, that's a red flag on the daily. Look on the 5-minute here. Yeah, pretty much retrace all of that move up. All right, let's take a look at gold. So gold and metals are having 2 good days because dollar is pulling back. So that's a good sign. And you can see that we also touched this level of support, this black line. Resistance, 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 resistance. Now acting as support because price is above it. Came down, dollar had that big day and then give it all back. And now gold is bouncing. That's a good sign. And we're probably going to come up to, if we continue, we're probably going to come up to test this black line right there, which is support, 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 support. And now it's going to act as resistance when we come up to it. If the dollar forms that head and shoulders, we'll pull back a little bit and bounce. It'll be like something like that. Or the dollar just rolls over, then we just go straight up to it. We'll see about that. But it's a decent 2-day bounce, and we'll see. Silver, a lot stronger because I think it broke out of its long-term resistance and the dollar rolled over. So 2 things going for the momentum of silver. You can see resistance, 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 this big falling wedge here that we've been trading in for a very long time. Bounce, bounce again, rejection. And it finally broke out of that. So we had volume coming in and it's breaking out of strong resistance at the same time while the dollar pulling back gave the silver a big move up right to resistance. See all these upper wicks? Resistance over here at this level where we just got to it. No signs of red flags yet. I wouldn't say this is a rejection. We just slightly pull back a little bit. So no signs of that. You can see all these wicks, we pull back close under it. But this one, we're still pretty much on it. So it's a good sign that we may continue. The dollar to stay still. And dollar goes sideways, it could still go up. You just don't want it to like rocket, like that day where it's like this. This was the CPI data, right? Or I forgot. But there was some news and then, we'll get something like this. Big red candle from it. All right, that's all I got for you guys. If you guys learned anything, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys need any one-on-one coachings, feel free to go to the Patreon link or support the channel. The link is in the bottom descriptions. And I'll see you guys potentially next week. Have the rest of you guys' weekend.